Breaking the cycle of intergenerational poverty. It's a mission that's been in the works for the past 6 years in Weber County. Tonight, ABC4's Nicole Newman sits down with some of the players working behind the scenes to combat this chronic problem. She joins us from Ogden to explain.
Intergenerational poverty is a very real issue here in the city of Ogden, especially when it comes to multiple generations getting caught up in the cycle. Ogden, Utah, home to minor league baseball, historic 25th, and a gateway to area ski resorts. It's also home to some of the highest poverty percentages in the state, with 20.3% living in overall poverty. That's compared to just under 10% across Utah. Driving through the stretch of Grant Avenue, it's difficult to comprehend that this is what intergenerational poverty looks like. But behind these doors are families struggling to make ends meet. They live in the city's poorest neighborhood.
You know, in the last few years, it's just been me and the kids, and then we have, some family. But to really, I've been responsible for everything.
This is home for Wendy Cooper and her 4 children.
Whoa, you're wild.
As a single mother recently escaping domestic violence and struggling to get out of poverty, Wendy and her children have seen some very hard times.
They've seen mommy working all the time. I've worked 2 jobs and 7 days a week.
Statistical data shows Wendy's children are among the more than 7,000 children living in intergenerational poverty in Weber County. Dr. Michael Vaughn is a professor of economics and the director of the Center for the Study of Poverty and Inequality at Weber State University.
What you see in Ogden and what you see in this neighborhood is a greater proportion of populations that fall into those demographic groups.
Those demographics include the unemployed, residents who didn't graduate high school, as well as single-parent households.
Individuals that are born into the lowest income quintile are more likely to stay in that quintile when they become adults than to move to any other quintile.
When it comes to addressing the numbers, that's where Melissa Freegang comes in. She works to create workforce initiatives in Weber County that specifically address intergenerational poverty. She helps to oversee the Career Path Partnership pilot program.
So when we're teaching skill sets, we have to provide these environments and these experiences so people get these wins and these successes, and that breeds this growth mindset.
The way the program does this is by pairing participants with workforce mentors. Those mentors can either provide participants with a job or help them build their skill set.
We're asking them to come to the table as partners to engage in a long-term relationship with the initiative.
The basis of the program is to address intergenerational poverty on multiple levels, beginning with children.
When we're looking at how do we move children towards self-determination, a great deal of the work is really happening in the schools, and so we're heavily partnered with the ICANN initiative with the Ogden School District.
It's been 5 months since Wendy enrolled in the Career Path Partnership pilot program. Her experience has been life-changing.
We did sit down and write down housing, a new car. I did get my new car since, then. So it's been leaps and bounds. Our lives really changed in the last few months.
In addition to her new car, Wendy also has a new home and a job working for the IRS.
Before, I was just taking pretty much any job I could get in order to, provide for them and make sure that they had everything that they needed.
Wendy's accomplishments are something that seemed out of reach during her darkest hours.
There's a level of desperation that, you hit. And you have to wake up every morning and make sure that they have food and make sure they have clothes and make sure they get to school. And there's days that I didn't want to. There's days that I didn't know how we were going to get out of it. I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't know where our next dollar was going to come from.
But as she wipes away tears thinking of those times, Wendy can now look with confidence to what lies ahead, especially when it comes to breaking the cycle of domestic violence and poverty for her children.
They have more confidence, especially being in our own house. They love that. That was a big thing for them when we lost our home. They didn't have their own bedrooms and they didn't have their own yard to play in.
Wendy is currently among 13 families enrolled in this program. Now, one of the program's main features is that it streamlines resources so participants can find them all in one place. In Ogden, Nicole Newman, ABC4 News.